One of the challenges of managing a woodlot over a long period of time is to properly plan the road system. This is critical because you want to keep the density of roads and trails to a minimum and put them where they will do the least amount of damage. There are a few things to consider at the planning stage. Make use of old road grades wherever possible. Fit the road system to the shape of the terrain and the pattern of the natural drainage system, using as many curves as required to fit the terrain. Follow along the contour of your property as much as possible. When you cut into side hills, you dramatically alter the runoff patterns and reduce the amount of moisture feeding the trees. Keeping curves on gentle grades will also reduce cutting into side hills. On steeper properties, have short, well-constructed steep sections of road to avoid the need to build too much road. Return water and drainage ditches to natural stream channels. Merv's main road, which is also his driveway, is 3 to 4 meters wide. His skidder trails are 2 meters wide. A small skidder with wide tires has a minimal impact on most forest soils. The trees are fallen in the direction of the trail, butt first whenever possible, so that when they are pulled out, damage to small undergrowth trees is minimal. Keep off the skid trails in very wet weather, as this is when most soil compaction occurs. Clay and silt soils are most vulnerable. Sandy and stony soils are less susceptible to compaction. A skidder trail might only be used once every 5 to 10 years, so careful planning will reduce the possibility of soil compaction.
Now, in this type of road system, this is a permanent skid trail, but it's not being used 365 days of the year. It is only being used when the cut is being made. That means that this road may not have any more than 2 or 3 hours of use once a year. That is the main road. So we have, because there are no trucks coming in, and we don't have to limb our trees, we have a continuous canopy overhead, which is what we want to conserve the systems in the soil and the moisture, prevent too much evaporation and allow the trees proper growth. We have no problem with canopy. We also, because it's used such a short time of each year, we have no real problem of impaction.
Merv has always used a small skidder to extract his timber. His trees generally are too large for horses to skid.
Come on, man. Get up there.
This footage was shot at an open house at Wildwood. The horse logging demonstration was part of the event. This Douglas fir log weighs about 2,700 kilos, and you can see the horses are struggling even on this small grade. Horses, wherever possible, are a wonderful alternative to machinery, and like the small skidder, only require trails about 2 meters wide. In most rural areas, there are people with draft horses and experience for the job. If you are working on very steep terrain, there are other methods of extracting timber that we will look at later in the program.